Live from Rockford, you're watching a WIFR Fastcast.
Our top story for this Fastcast: Beloit police investigate the death of a man following reports of shots fired. Around 9:30 Monday night, officers responded to the area of 8th Street and Liberty Avenue for multiple reports of shots fired. On scene, officers say they found a man in his 30s with a possible gunshot wound. He was taken to a nearby hospital where he died. Police ask the community if you know anything about the incident, contact their non-emergency line at 608-757-2277. Illinois Attorney General files additional charges against 75-year-old Russell Luchtenberg. He now faces 4 more counts of aggravated battery and 2 more charges of criminal sexual abuse. Luchtenberg originally faced 2 charges of aggravated battery in a public place, aggravated battery, and criminal sexual abuse. He could face years in prison if convicted. The Winnebago County Sheriff's Office says their final goodbyes to K-9 Officer Zorro, who died Monday. Deputies say the K-9 had an advanced and terminal form of lymphoma. Zorro started his career alongside Senior Deputy DeVore in September of 2021. Sheriff Gary Caruana says Zorro gave his best every day, and the office is incredibly grateful for his service and sacrifice. President Trump's executive order placing new limits on mail-in ballots survived the first legal challenge that made it to the Supreme Court. The order could have an impact on how states carry out the midterm elections, which are already underway with the primaries. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
The U.S. Supreme Court has allowed, for now, the Trump administration to move forward with an executive order that would put new restrictions on mail-in ballots.
It's about voter integrity. We want to have honest voting in our country.
The order calls for the Department of Homeland Security to create lists of residents in each state who are eligible to vote and prohibit the U.S. Postal Service from sending ballots to anyone not on the list. A lower court blocked the president's executive action, but Monday, justices said the states had filed their lawsuit too soon, since the changes had not yet been implemented. The High Court did not rule on the merits of the case.
The Constitution says who gets to set the time, place, and manner of elections. It's the states.
CBS News legal analyst Jessica Levinson says the door is open for future challenges as the U.S. Postal Service unveils new requirements for mail-in ballots this week.
With the legal fight expected to continue, it's unclear what this will ultimately mean for the upcoming midterms, now just 70 days away.
Today, voting is underway in South Carolina's GOP primary runoff for the late Senator Lindsey Graham seat.
Thank you, Mr. President.
President Trump has thrown his support behind Darlene Graham, Lindsey's sister, who was appointed interim senator.
Thank you for your endorsement. It has meant the world to me.
She's running against 5-term Congressman Ralph Norman.
It's not training on the job. You have to know it. You have to be in it.
The winner will face the Democratic nominee, Dr. Annie Andrews, in November. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Several states are set to begin mailing out general election ballots in just a few weeks. Iran says it wants to return to the Memorandum of Understanding a month after it collapsed between the country and the U.S. Reportedly, Pakistan's army chief was seeking an opening for talks and to convey Iran's positions to the U.S. The source notes that the Pakistani intermediary was to pass along Iran's conditions to the U.S. It's time now to take a quick look at our forecast. Mostly sunny today with southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, highs around 80. Increasing clouds tonight with a slight chance for a shower or rumble of thunder. Partly sunny tomorrow with another slight chance for that shower or a rumble of thunder as well. That'll be in the afternoon. Highs around 80 for the rest of the week. The weekend will bring some scattered thunderstorms, and that's how we'll end the month of August. September begins on a partly cloudy note, with highs in the low 80s. The University of Illinois Extension in Winnebago County asks the community to plant and grow food for those in need. This is part of the program's Plant a Row for the Hungry. Leaders say community members should give their extra harvested food to local pantries. That food includes fruits, vegetables, and herbs. There are several drop-off sites, including the Edgebrook Farmers Market and Cherry Valley Public Library.
People don't realize is fruits and vegetables can be hard to come around when you have food deserts because you have them in your big grocery stores, but you may not necessarily have an abundance of different varieties at corner stores. So it's important that people who utilize these food pantries, people who are living in food deserts, still have a chance to get that fresh fruit, that fresh vegetables, those herbs, and all those different things to get the proper nutrients that they need.
Bloom School students now have a place to have fun. The Kevin Irwin Memorial Playground is officially Bloom Park Playground. The $525,000 upgrade comes as the original structure reached its 15 to 20-year life. Leaders say the park makes it easier and more convenient to visit the area for students. The Rockford Park District says it plans to renovate the tennis courts next year.
It's so exciting for the kids to be the first to play on this brand new facility. Over $500,000 from the Rockford Park District and the Rockford School District putting this out there for our students, and they're able to take advantage of it. They were able to donate the previous playground to students in need in another country, and now our kids get to live this brand new experience.
Well-known comedian Kathleen Madigan will take her talents to the Hard Rock Casino Rockford next February. She appeared in several talk shows, including David Letterman and Conan O'Brien. Madigan was also named the 1996 Best Female Stand-Up Comic. Her Flying Cats tour is scheduled February 12th. Tickets go on sale Friday. That'll do it for this early edition of the 1 p.m. Fastcast. We have another one coming up at 3:25 today, so again, a little bit early. I'll see you in the studio for First at 4, and Mike will join me for our 5 and 6 o'clock shows. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.